Alright, so I rendered out the first part, and now we're on the second part. So this is where we're leaving off. Ignore the back of the head. Remember, it's a straightforward projection, which is why it looks tarted on the sides. However, now that we are starting to get to this point, it is a good idea to possibly consider using a side reference image. So first, let's check the topology of the mouth and see why it's not consistent. Ah, yes. It's right here. So if we just take these verts, V, Z, we take these verts, V, let's try it again. Press V, V reps, handy command, good buddy of mine. And right here, we'll just actually merge those two. Alright, we're going to merge these at the center. And we still don't have a continuous flow, so the only way through that is to use K and cut to here. Now, we have our topology all wrong. So what's going on here? Well, we can try deleting this edge loop, but that still causes us to have an n-gon, but we will come back to that because we're still not finalizing any of the topology. So this is the next image we're going to be treating in GIMP. So let's just jump into GIMP, delete that, not delete, close that one. And in reference images, I'm going to grab, that one's almost good. This one's probably the best though. So let's just drag and drop it in. Not too close, but let's go ahead and just start trimming this off. Now I'd probably have an easier time if I use my tablet, so let me grab that. Alright, and use the middle mouse button, move that up. And some parts I'll trace, some parts I'll just use a little magnet connect. And we're just trimming off stuff we probably don't need. I probably should have put them against an easier backdrop or something, but these pictures were just taken in my house. And one of the things I don't like about GIMP and Windows is how it handles these sort of things, but whatever. All these small things, you just gotta move past them. I mean, look at me, fucking hate Windows, but I'm in it. So now let's start clearing up the back. Alright. Just about done here. We don't even need the full shape of the head. Our focus will be first the face, and then we'll focus on the actual shape. But we got a pretty good idea of the basic egg shape that is predominant in human heads. And a lot of people tend to lean towards the sphere. So from here, I'm just going to select that. Well, first add an alpha channel, delete, select this, delete, Control Shift A, excellent. So let's go ahead and save this as, and under textures we'll just call this side.xcf, and we will also export it as a PNG. Let's see. And we'll just export this. Go back into Blender. Go over to our default layout. Go to UV Image Editor. Let's see. Not whips. Under textures, we have sides that we can just drag and drop in. And we can just select this empty, duplicate it out, RZ90, and go under the empty options and change this to side. Control M, Y, not working. Control M, Z. Let's see. Change this to side again. Never mind. SY -1. That's the easiest way. Or we could rotate it. There's a million ways to skin a cat. It's just mean to skin cats, though. And so we line up our reference. First thing is we probably want to offset it on the Y. Match up the bridge and the nose. Scale it up some. We want the eyes and the nose to both match. Great. So let's just mark where these items are on our model. It may not line up completely, but whenever it comes to this sort of thing, they never do. You just pretty much choose which lines you're going to trust. So we're going to add a new layer, make it red, raise the thickness a little bit, turn on draw, and so we got the line of the eyes, we got the nose, we got the mouth, and we got the chinny chin chin. So now all we have to do is just make it fit. So for this, instead of scaling it, I'm just gonna move them on different axes until they fit right. And this head's also at a bit of a slight angle in the first photo compared to the second one. So the lips match, the eyes match, and the nose match. And we even have the silhouette of the face that we're trying to work our way towards, because thankfully now Blender does alpha layers on the mask. So we have a more complete viewport image that we're working with. Move all this crap. So we'll go ahead and just turn this layer off and just do some sideways reshaping. Like I said, it won't match up perfect. Actually, wrong layout, isn't it? Let's go to modeling, save as, plus, and so from here I can select this, take this in a side view, and just tune to fit. And we're not trying to get exact, but you know, we want to start to fill like it's having some resemblance at this point, because the only thing it has right now is the face was stolen, and anybody can do that, especially if you're John Travolta. So pull, push, and guess what? Pull. So the next thing is this line and this line. The rest of it will make compensate through sculpting, but we just want to start getting the shape of the head in, because the more geometry we add, the of course more we have to modify just to get the form that we want. So we want to start nailing this part down a little early. And that alone has lended more credibility to the model. We're now also going to go ahead and go into face mode with Control Tab. Choose these down on the chin. Maybe even turn on Proportional Editing Tool. Maybe turn it on only for connected and press G, Y. Let's see, G, Y. There we go. So now we can GY, bring this out. Maybe turn this off. I wouldn't even think of rendering at this point. It'd just be too hideous. But it's nice to know that we can always just apply the texture and get a nice WIP out of this if we wanted to. I'm the kind of person that likes to save my projects images as I make them and then, marvel at them later. This part in the nose, we could probably make this a lot easier also if we went to default and turn on, there we go, show apply modifier editing cage during edit mode, which is one of my favorite tools to use, especially with the subsurf, because right now it's all harsh lines, but we put a subsurf, it'll all look much better. Alright, now from here we want to probably pull this back. And now you see that we get a lot of help from our projection. It tells us kind of, just where we need to be going with all of this. And you can do the same thing with concept drawings and all of that. Like, I am constantly experimenting on new ways to use the software in a way that I haven't yet seen in a video. In fact, if you watch a lot of my videos, you'll see that, most of the stuff I do hasn't yet, caught on or hasn't been seen yet. Just on some things, especially, during the Space Pirates series. That one is probably some of my best techniques in action, because I wasn't trying to record or make a tutorial. I was just trying to model this damn thing so I could get it into a contest, be completely ignored by the judges, be insulted by one of the judges, and not even be placed or mentioned on the page while I look at the winner win with an inferior entry and watch all the runners up also have inferior entries. And it sounds like I'm whining, but I don't even want to go into it. Let's just model, And so we're getting closer just with that little bit of pulling on the side. We can look at this one. No, that is not even it. let's go back to our modeling. And we start to see that we're starting to get a little bit closer every time. So let's double check what we got here. Now this one we want to definitely lower the transparency on. I just now realized it's full blast. And usually you always want to pull that down, at least so you can see your model on the other side. You know, if we wanted to even take this a step further as far as making it easier when modeling, then we can select the face. We're in the default layout, so we can add another one. Call this Project 2. We would delete this picture. We would use the side picture. We would also copy this modifier. This one, use Logan's side. Shift C, put the cursor in the middle, bring out a new empty on the X. Click the head again. This time it's empty 003. Override image. Not sure if it helps. Look from the front, he looks like he's about to go to war. He looks like Kratos. And for this, you know, you're just rotating it according to, you know, how you feel, how you think it should be looking. So that's all I'm doing here. But as you can see, laying out the image is easy. We have pretty much almost this whole picture set up. So right about there, he fits the most snug. Doesn't look very good from the front, but from the sides, we see what we got to do. So let's move this to number 2. And he's got a heroic chin, so having it way back here is just not going to do. And we're also going to take this, bring this out. Maybe slide these edges, bring them out. And what's happening right here? Well, that's something we will come back to. But now the goal here is to just ensure that all of the pieces are in place. And we can switch it back to project. Go back over to modeling. And we'll go ahead and increment it. All these files barely equal 2 megs, or 3 at the most. So we can make as many as we want at this low stage. But, you know, I create all these files, I never go back. I don't know why. It'd be easy, but I don't. So we want to bring this window up, turn it into a UV image editor, and from here we can just focus on certain details. Well, not yet. So right here, we have problems. Dissolve. Problem solved. Not really. That's a start. Right here we got a triangle. Here's how I cure triangles. One corner here, one cut there and one cut there. Select this edge, dissolve. Take this, cut, enter. And what do we have now? We have quads. Bring this in. And these are going to determine where the next ones are going to connect, so it's really just intuition here, because like I said, we haven't even begun to sculpt. And sculpting is what's really going to bring this together. Even though a lot of people hate sculpting, or I do. I hate sculpting, but I've come to fall in love with it. Not so much when it's for sculpting as much as it is for mass moving of geometry without having to just press G. But more on that later. And so we have our initial cut still set. This cut is important, so is this one, and so is that one. So we want to connect this to this, enter. We want to connect this to this, enter. For this, we probably want to just dissolve it, and let's see where to go from here. Because there's a lot of things about this I'm not liking. I want it to be a little bit smoother. And to do that, it does require, a little bit of thought, pre-planning. You can't just go willy-nilly cutting things. So we'll cut there. Let's see how far our reach goes. We'll select these two, subdivide. Reach is a lot shorter. Connect here. Alright, and select this. Connect, nope. Select this. Connect. And did something weird happen here? Yes, so dissolve that. Alright, and as long as it's all still looping, that means it went correct. So from here, we're going to edge slide and start working on just tightening up some of the details in the face. Edge slide the other way, yes. Now on N-gons, they slide a little bit funky, so just be used to that. Be prepared for it. Just move inverts. All this really is just tweaking, and tweaking really is just you specifically setting things proper the way that you want them to be. I used to always wonder what it is with tweaking and how to do it properly, and it really is just a matter of preference. All these moves are preference because I'm trying to make the model this way. Put a loop in here. Why did it not complete? Well, here's why. Take this, connect here, connect here, connect here. We'll just click here, press enter, and just call it a day there. This one goes continuously. This one ends abruptly. Now, why does it end abruptly? Is there a double vert here? Nope. But there is a double there. and you take those two and correct it. And let's see, there's also a double here. And that cut goes all the way, and that cut also goes all the way. So the loop cut, as you see, definitely comes in handy for certain things besides just adding loops. It also allows you to kind of follow your edges and see what directions they're going, even if you're not cutting. And in BMesh, you want to check constantly to make sure that something didn't get translated incorrectly and you didn't end up with a secret vert. Or at least that's what I call them. I call them secret verts. So we'll K, cut, bring it here, enter, K, bring this here. How you doing? Bam. And just bring this out a little bit. And I was thinking that once we get to the right point, we'll start looking at some skulls just to discuss a couple of things, but I shouldn't try to pretend like I'm a know-it-all. But we probably will do it, because I like being a know-it-all. And we're going to merge these at the center. Now we have this loop. Except it is connected very strangely, because there are no edges through here. So now we have this, let me get rid of this, sorry. And so we see that with the eyes we have a pretty specific shape here already set. There we go, that's what I was missing, music. But it's all just tweaking, making sure everything's smooth, because you shouldn't have any rough edges, because you are specifying all of these yourself. If your edges are real sharp and, I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm sure you know what I mean. Whenever you're modeling and your topology is not right, so it's not a smooth distance between each edge and vert, and that can cause some issues. Bring this up and over. Bring this over. Bring it over again. Right here, we're going to use old trick. Move, hit. Another one over here. And that has earned an extra loop in there just to keep things honest. Alright, and more pulling. But the face is starting to begin to get some very nice form. However, I do want to put another edge down in the nose, just so I can select this edge here, and this part, press Z and C to use the circle select, middle mouse button to remove from the selection which ones I don't want. And lo and behold, we've added a depth of smoothness to the nose. From that angle, he looks definitely derp. And from this angle, he's looking a little bit better. So the form is coming together slowly but surely. But I was actually thinking this was going to take a very long time, and it appears that this is something that I could finish very quickly. And I've been kind of wanting to make a new model so I have a base in my texture painting round 3. Alright, so right here it ends because there's a triangle. Here's a quick way to get rid of triangle. Merge. But the distance between these two is a problem. And so that's when you want to add a loop, because we definitely want it to be smooth and have an equal edge flow and all of that. Like, these things are all very important. Okay, select this vert. Now, if you're starting off where on this file from one of mine, then you probably want to use part 6 to start. If you just wanted to, be at a good point. I'm gonna hide that one. I don't need it at the moment. We take this edge and dissolve it. We have a need to put a cut here, and then voila. However, and see, these two edges are just too close together, but no worries. Subdivide. At last. We will delete these for the first time, just so we can bring these in. And what else? And select that. Alt M at last. Alt M at last. And if we just slide this out, then we start to get a nice curvature compared to before. In fact, we can even partner this one. Have a loop coming up here, have a loop coming around there, and we can always redirect them later. But I like to try to do this part a little differently, especially because adding spans down the nose tends to create a lot of lines in the middle of the head, so I'm just testing out ways of removing it. Alright, so next thing from here is, let's see how far we got the face coming into the back. Okay. We will okay. then this whole thing will need to slide back like so. Alright, so the next thing from here is to take this, cut here, this vert, and connect it with our forerunners, which are the ones on the face. We'll connect this, press enter, and that may not be the best path,